Aaron, I think you might be frozen again, my friend. It looks like Aaron pushed the buttons and brought us in, and then he popped out by accident. This is the half, everybody. There we go. Looks like you're coming back, sir. Uh, the
Yeah.
half is 30 minutes with myself, Erich Campbell, and I pointed the right direction this time. You have to back it, do it the wrong way, guys. And this is Aaron Montgomery, who is here fresh off of an awesome show at the Two Regular Guys podcast. So,
Yes.
guys, thank you for showing up and being here. Can't wait to hear more from you folks. As you guys know, 30 minutes. Open Q&A, whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to ask about, let's get into it. Happy to see you folks here and to have my friend Aaron here too.
Yeah, I think I'm here. I've not had these kind of internet problems in a very long time since I switched over to all this new equipment. So
Mhm.
I guess I know what my weekend project is now, getting this resolved because this has not been bueno. But
You
I'm
know what?
here for now.
I'm going to tell you, I think this is national because I am connected by copper directly to my router on a broadband connection, and I've been getting low connection warnings from StreamYard. So I think we're having something larger go on because
Yeah.
I'm having problems too. So if everything goes belly up, guys, we tried. We always try,
Yes.
but these
Yes.
things happen when you're going live.
Yep, exactly, exactly. All right, well, I've got nothing else on. The only thing is, yeah, I'm not. I mean, my router is literally right there, though. So there's no. I mean, when I do the speed test, anyhow, we're not here to talk
We're not here
about.
to talk
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
network speeds.
Let's get to what we're here to do, and that's talk to the people that are joining us. We appreciate everybody
Absolutely.
tuning in. Yeah, thanks, Jerry. I don't know if it's self-induced problems or what, but hey, and we are back. Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate you being
Thank
here,
you,
Jerry.
Jerry.
And Richard, great to see you. Thanks for tuning in again. Hopefully
Absolutely.
things are getting better on your end. I know you've been fighting some stuff, so thanks for being here and tuning in and spending a little time with us. Sheila, hello. Thanks for being here. Eric, I don't know if you got a chance to see the email or not yet, but Sheila is going to be a guest on the Two Regular
Nice.
Guys. Yes, I am
Very
super
good.
excited about this. She's got a new podcast that she's working on. And so
Awesome.
we'll get to talk to her on the 22nd of October over there at Two Regular Guys.
Cannot wait.
Yeah, Rethread, I believe, is the name of it. Sheila, let me know if I got that wrong, but was
Nice.
excited about that.
Nice.
Yep. And then we got Marianne checking in this morning, and
Checking in from Santa Fe.
yep, exactly.
And
Got to get those New Mexico people. You got to stick together, right?
come on, folks.
Yeah. So Todd says yo, and
Yo, Todd.
yeah, a big long yo. All right. Christine says, wow, I've been getting low connection warnings from StreamYard too. Glad to hear it might not just be me. All right. Well,
Yeah, those of us who stream, we
I
know.
did not know that either. I thought it was just me as well. So I'll be reaching out to my friends over at StreamYard today. They've always been really good. Their service has been really good as far as like getting back to you, taking care of things, resolving issues quickly. So hopefully we can. I don't know. We'll go check in the user group, and people will definitely be talking about
I
it.
think honestly, probably temporary stuff. As we know, we've seen a lot of people having big outages this last week. If you guys hadn't seen the multi-hour Facebook drop, yeah, these things happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
All right. Sheila says yes. Rethread.
Awesome.
And sorry, Christine, didn't mean to steal her from you, but she's available. Sounds like she's available. So, and Jerry, we got your question. Let's get back to that. Let me just hit a couple of others here real quick. Marianne says you got that right.
Yep, New Mexico people sticking together. And yeah, Jeff, by the way, Jeff says he didn't get the notification. Glad to be here. No spoilers for Two Regular Guys. I can't promise you that, my friend.
Yeah.
I told Adam I'd wait to watch it with him. Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Adam Jeff's son, who loves
and Adam's
Jay
gonna
Vassell,
love it.
who is on.
Yeah, and Adam's gonna love not only because of
yeah.
Jay, but then the content is fantastic.
Fantastic content this morning, Two Regular Guys. Let's put it this way: if you want to learn more about telling your story as a business, go tune into that show. It was well worth it.
Yep. So we'll try to avoid the spoilers and
we can talk about other stuff.
Bevy Jean, hello. Thanks for tuning in. And
yeah, here to learn as usual. That's the attitude we're looking for from everybody.
Next, awesome. Yep. And Christine says StreamYard is a great platform. I recommend it to everybody.
Really is.
Yep. There you go, Eric. Shout out to the International Balloon Fest. I mean, how freaking awesome does it look in the morning? I mean, you just sit outside.
It's pretty crazy. I'll have to say, I've been really lax. It's terrible because Brian Bailey, as you guys know from Imbrilliance, Creative Imbrilliance, our offices are down toward Balloon Fiesta Park. And if I would get myself down there at the very early morning, I would be seeing beautiful balloons on that second floor office that is the Brilliant Studios, as I always call it. But I have been a slug. I've been working a lot and working late into the night, so I haven't been getting up early. But
All
yeah,
right.
Mass Ascension in the mornings is awesome. I hope this weekend to maybe get down to the office and see it, because we can go out on the roof and actually check it out.
Oh man.
If you haven't seen the International Balloon Fiesta, go on YouTube and see pictures, and then imagine 1,000x what it's like to be on the field and see them going up around you. They're much bigger than you think they are. The
Yeah.
roar of the big propane burners is incredible, and it's a beautiful scene. Though I will say, for local Albuquerqueans, for Burqueños, it just means a whole lot of traffic with people who are looking up. The car
Yeah.
accidents go up massively during
Oh,
Balloon
I'm
Fiesta,
sure.
and it is a pain to get anywhere on that side of town. So, admittedly, natives like myself, we sometimes will get a little salty.
Yeah.
Yes, it's beautiful. Yes, we still
Yeah.
go every once in a while, but
But
Balloon
you,
Fiesta for us is rough. That's not
yeah.
what I'm going to talk about today on my show. Honestly, Take Up this afternoon, I'm going to talk about my work with Balloon Fiesta to some degree, because I used to do a ton of sponsor stuff for them. I did the sponsorship jackets that are kind of, really kind of emblematic of Balloon Fiesta. I was the
Yeah.
guy who made those for years. And
Awesome.
so I'm going to talk all about managing those big personalization orders today. It should be pretty cool. But
Nice.
yeah, Balloon Fiestas are incredible.
Yeah, that's great, and definitely make sure, folks, you guys are tuning into the Take Up this afternoon at
Glad to
2:30
have you.
Mountain Time
Yes, indeed.
to get all that. So, Eric, is the Balloon Fiesta this time of year, barring pandemics, obviously, every year though, about the same time?
Yes, yes, it is. It
Okay,
is this
all
time
right,
of year every year.
all
It's
right.
the right weather for it, and we have a very unique weather pattern that makes us really popular with balloonists. It's
Yeah,
called the
nice.
box wind, where we have these two layers of air. One travels over this town, and you can just you elevate your balloon, and then it carries you back across the other direction. And
Oh
they just
wow.
go in little circles, and they love it.
Oh
So
wow.
it's one of the reasons
Cool.
people love it so much. Yeah, for
Nice.
sure.
All right. Well, 2022, you may need to clear out a little spot for me on the
Hey,
floor or
man,
something, man.
we've got the place to see it. Believe me, if we could do a live from the Brilliance offices and kill it.
Nice, nice. I'd love balloons. I won't
Yeah.
bore everybody with the story, but when I was a kid, growing up in Phoenix, Arizona, there was a
Hmm.
lot of ballooning there because, like you
Oh
said,
yeah.
in the fall time of year,
Weather
it's
patterns.
perfect for
Yeah, sure.
in those environments. So I just remember as a kid just being in awe of these things floating, and
It
yeah. So
it really is impressive. I know I'm giving you guys the native like gristle and the realness about what it is to be at Balloon Fiesta or have Balloon
uh,
Fiesta near you, but it's still beautiful. And here's to the point that someone who is still a dyed in the wool native who can bitch about the traffic, pardon me, will still go and see him and still loves them when the time is right. We still end up going, and everybody goes to Balloon Fiesta. But yeah, seriously.
nice, nice. All right, well let's get back to like I said, Jerry had a question I wanted to kind of skip over
Yeah,
because I figured we needed to take a little time on this one.
sure.
All right, so here's the question. Jerry's got a customer that's unhappy with the back design transfer placement. They
Mm.
approve the mock-up. Suggestions for help with client retention, offered to replace items or give 30% discount on order. So Eric, do you want to dive into that first, and I'll share some of my
Yeah.
thoughts too.
I mean, honestly, when I have had this where it really is someone I must retain, I want that customer to stay around, and this is my problem, then yes, garment replacement is what we do. Admittedly, sometimes when we have things like events where we've missed a mark on a date, there can be times where it is irretrievable. Admittedly, you can't fix that the stuff wasn't ready on time for event stuff specifically, but really that's what I would do. I usually would offer to eat the garments and the decoration. I know that sounds like a lot of cost for something, but if this is a must keep customer and this is the what it's going to take to make things right, I would say certainly whenever I see a problem like this happening, if it's only one thing, one customer, one job out of thousands, I'm not going to be super worried about it. But when I see a couple of things like this, I take this as signal to say, am I communicating my positioning correctly? Is my mock-up clear enough? Is there something that I need to deal with as far as my interview process to know how someone wants something positioned, or if this is a continuous problem? And so, yes, client retention, biggest thing for that one is make it right.
Yeah,
Eat the garments, eat the decoration. I know that sucks. It's not something we want to hear, but if it's something we really feel is problematic for us and we want to retain the customer, even if we feel like they've approved stuff, sometimes the question is, do you want to retain or not? Are they reasonable or not? Is it worthwhile to do it? If it's worthwhile to keep them on, then think of it as marketing budget and eat it.
yeah,
It's unfortunate and sucks, but it's usually how it is.
yeah,
And honestly, when we've done it, most of the time I find that correcting a problem gets you more trust than never having had one. And that's,
Exactly.
I know it sounds so unintuitive, but people seeing, especially openly, or being referred to because you're the kind of person who makes things right,
Yeah.
really builds trust quickly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I would say. The discount thing, you can do that too. Personally, for me, I think that the replacement's usually it. If they don't want to replace them, they want to keep them, and do it on a discount. That's great, but one time. I have
Yeah.
had problem customers who come back and just find something to complain about because they now think they're going to get a percentage
Get a
off on
discount.
every order,
Yep.
and I don't want that. So I would really, I stick with product.
Yeah.
I try
Yeah.
not to mess with money as much as I can. I try and mess with product,
Sure.
because
Sure.
product is where at least I can also I if I'm marking things up, then I get the most value back out of that. We all know that when we give somebody a T-shirt that's worth a certain amount of money, we didn't pay that in labor and cost, and so I can trade on a higher value
Yeah.
than cost.
Yeah. Totally.
That's what I think. What do you think?
Yeah, no,
I know you got a take on
I
this
think
too.
you hit all of the things nails on the head for sure. Totally agree with you on all of those points. The couple things that I would say here.
Yeah,
This is one of the reasons why, because you said, it sucks, got to make it right, and that
yeah.
can be really painful.
Oh
Not
yeah.
only just personally from an emotional level, but it can also be very painful to our wallets, right,
Oh,
and
big
to our
time.
bank accounts. And so couple things for me to add to this is that's why at our success group we are so adamant about making sure that we know our numbers, we're
Hmm.
pricing our products for profit,
Yep.
because we want to be customer service oriented companies, like you said, and you've
Yeah.
got to replace that. And so if you've given yourself enough room that when you replace it, it's not going to put your business out of business. It's going to sting, but it's not going to be fatal.
Yeah.
Then you've given yourself an opportunity to make that decision. Because to me, customer service is an art form, as opposed to a process, right? The scripted customer service that is proven time and time again to just not work. Empowering your employees, if you have them, or yourself, to look at this from an empathetic, put yourself in the customer's shoes,
Yeah. Yeah.
way is the way to tackle this. So instead of so what the way I would kind of address something like this, somebody came to me and said, "Hey, I'm unhappy with the back placement." I would say, "Wow, I'm really sorry about that. I thought we had kind of looked at the mock-up. Are you feeling like we're off from where we were with the mock-up?" Just kind of again killing a couple birds with that stone. I'm not kind of pointing at him and say, "Well, you approved the mock-up, you big jerk." I'm just saying, "Oh wow,
Yeah. Yeah.
how did we miss?" This is an educational opportunity, an opportunity to kind of build that rapport and relationship. And so asking them, "How did we miss?" That takes it off of being,
Hmm.
"Well, you approved the mock-up, so it's on you." Now
Hmm.
now their defenses are up, they're ready to fight. Right. But if you go, "Hey,
Yeah.
how did we miss? Let's talk about this." And then the second thing that I would do is ask them those questions, and then ask them a question that kind of, however you get there. But ultimately, the question is, what can we do to make this right? And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
shut
Yeah.
up. Right. And that's where most people make the mistake is, how
Yeah.
can we make this right? Oh, I could replace it for you. I could give you a 30% discount. I could
That's
do
a better
whatever.
option.
But if you
Yeah.
say, how can I make this right? And then be quiet, you're going to be pleasantly surprised more often than not. That, I mean, a lot of times, like when I reach out to a company that, has made a mistake, all I want them to do is acknowledge it and maybe give me some little tiny olive branch, right? I had a situation where I got some things it was very clearly noted that I needed them by a certain time. They're for trade show.
Yeah.
And they showed up on my doorstep a week after we got back from the trade show. And I had been reaching out to them the whole time, couldn't get anybody call me back. Their accounts payable or receivable people finally called me up, and I said, "Okay, well, here's the deal. Here's why I haven't paid that invoice, because I've sent all of these notifications, blah blah blah. All I wanted was for you guys to say, okay, how can we make this right?" And I would
Mhm.
have just said, "You know what? We'll figure out a way to, hold on to them. Is there any way I can maybe get a little discount? 5-10% would be just fine.
Sure.
And we can move
Sure.
on." But if you've already offered them 30%, guess what? They're going to take
That
30%.
this is true. We can ask them, certainly. I'll tell you, there's gonna be customers who don't take well to it. But that you can't build your business over the worst people.
Yeah.
you have to go into this knowing that could happen so that you're not shocked, but you can't build your business from that. Because I've certainly had a customer
Yeah,
where I say, how do you make this right? And they go back in the past a week and do it correctly the first freaking time. I've
yeah.
had that discussion,
Sure,
had to
I
deal
have
with
too,
that
and then
jerky
it's like,
person.
okay,
So
I
I can't do
appreciate that
that.
suggestion.
Yeah, no.
Unfortunately, I can't do that, and you know that. So
And honestly,
if you
I've
need to
come
take
to
a
them and
breath,
said,
call me back, you know?
yeah. Oh, no, and honestly, if it's really that bad, I've also told people, this isn't. We're not going to sit here for abuse. I'll make it right, but we're not going to like. That's
Yeah,
not how we're going to do this.
correct, yeah.
You can still do. You can put up boundaries and be okay.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
a good portion of it is just saying, you know what? I feel bad about this too. I take my professionalism seriously, especially when it really is your deal. Now, the other thing is getting into finger pointing, even when it is their fault, that doesn't help anyone ever. Like
sure.
finger pointing doesn't help anyone ever. Blame game doesn't help anyone ever. Certainly, but that's the thing. If you've got somebody who's problematic, who's trying to play the blame game with you, either they're worried about something and don't want to pay, or they're trying to angle to get something, or they're not really a great customer.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yes, they might do business with you, but it's
yeah.
dependent on when they have a problem.
Yeah.
So
And
it's tough.
they might just have buyer's remorse, you know, and something
Yeah,
changed in their world.
yeah,
And so this is a tactic that they're using. And again, like Eric said, it's not about bending over backwards and just
yeah.
doing whatever. What it
No,
is saying, what could we do to make it right? And then
sure,
if that answer doesn't work for you, it's an opportunity to explain, okay, well, here's why we
yeah,
can't do that. And again, like Eric said, it's not about the finger pointing, it's not about
no,
any of that.
no,
But you ultimately want to get to a point where this becomes an educational experience if
yeah,
it's a customer you're going to hold on to. Like, okay, so now that we've got this resolved, we're going to make this right for you. I just
sure,
want to make sure that for
sure.
future orders, you don't have this same bad experience. So, here's how we do it. I sent you a mock-up, and if that placement wasn't right for you at that point,
Yeah,
please make sure that you let me know at that
yeah.
point. And because otherwise, the next time we do this, I'm going to put them back in the same place
Oh,
that where
totally.
the mock-up was,
Totally.
and at that point, I won't be able to help you this next time.
I think
Right?
that's fair to say,
Yeah.
let's figure this out now. And even to say, I'm fully willing to replace these. Maybe if you can help me with the process,
Yeah.
let's figure out where this went wrong because I want to make sure that I get this right for you next time.
Yeah. I love it.
That and the other thing is sometimes it requires you to swallow your pride when it's just a keeper customer. I've had times where I really felt like the customer dropped the ball on this,
Hmm.
and you can eat the first one or eat a portion of it and then make it clear what that interchange has to be and what your expectations of them are. It's fair to have expectations of a customer
Yeah.
as far as what they need to do to give you what you need to do the work.
Yeah.
And once you can lay out those expectations and you've given to some degree, I think it makes sense to them. Like, hey, yeah, this is not a way for you to get a discount.
Correct.
um, I'm improving my process, so let's make sure we get it right next time. And I'm going to ask you about this every time now. I'm going to make sure we have
Yeah.
our information
Absolutely. Yeah.
correct. But it also helps you with your process in general. You may
Yeah.
find
Yeah.
that like your mock-ups aren't very accurate, or that you have something else that needs to be dealt with in the entire process. I know I've certainly had that problem. Um, if you've ever seen me talk about color management, and I've actually got an article right now in Images Magazine, you can check it out. I think it's Images Mag UK. I should have had that link ready. I'm not producing right now,
You're not
but
producing. Don't touch the buttons, Eric.
I'm trying to touch the buttons. But in Images Magazine this month, in the digital edition you can get, I talk about color management. One of the things I always say is that you have to give everybody, when you're doing embroidery, like the speech about looking at this on screen or a digital preview is not going to give you 100% color accuracy.
Yeah.
Why do I complain about that stuff? Because I learned over time that you absolutely must. People have no concept of what colors are like on different screens or in different lights or anything else. You're going to have to be very clear about things like color expectations, and you're going to have to be very clear about sizing and placement to make sure people understand. If your mockups aren't 100% accurate, or you see that there's a weakness in just the way mockups work for
Yeah.
your work. I mean, like I said, embroidery is one of those where digital mockups don't really do embroidery justice, no matter
Yeah.
where they're coming from. They cannot be 100%. Then you need to at least mitigate that and communicate that on the lead in so that you set expectations correctly.
Yeah.
And so this is actually, it's a good opportunity, but sometimes a very costly one, especially on big orders.
Yeah.
I can't tell you it doesn't suck because it sucks.
Yeah, it does. One last comment on this because we've got a whole
Sure,
bunch of other
sure,
comments to get to
sure,
here,
sure,
Eric.
sure.
Um, it, when we talk about customer service and all
Yeah,
these things are
yeah,
exactly right. Everything that Eric just said, again, 100% agreeing with. As a solopreneur, customer service is one of the most difficult things that you will do and be able to get it right because, as you said, Eric, you got to take some of this. personal attack, right? It feels like a personal attack. And so
Yes. Yeah.
you have to manage that, okay, I've got to take myself out of this is my pride and joy. This is my kid. This
Yes.
is my baby, right?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
my business, and put myself into okay, I'm a customer service person now. I've got to listen. I've got to have empathy.
Sure.
I've got to try to find a win-win situation. I'm not saying it's a win for the customer and just let them keep taking advantage of you. What I'm saying is you got to work towards a win-win situation, but you have to be the one taking the high road, right? Todd and I joke all the time about, just go put a flaming bag of dog poop on somebody's front porch. And while that might make you feel good for about 30 seconds, at the end of the day, a good, solid friend of mine said, yeah, but guess who had their hands on the dog poop first, right?
I don't want to tell you who that friend was, but it might have
But
been me.
yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say, okay, if
no, I
you're
was
willing
like,
to cop to that, I thought that was one of the most perfect things I've ever
I'll
heard.
I'll cop to it. Yeah, whenever somebody says that, and it's also because that's how I feel if I get into an angry exchange with a customer. I'm like, it got wiped off on me. I'm the
Yep.
one who touched the nuclear radiation of being angry and grumpy about
Yeah.
stuff that really didn't need that energy. Can people get upset? Can that happen? Yes, I've had somebody throw something at me, physically throw a hat at me because they didn't like
Wow.
how things turned out. And you guys know I'm not bad at what I do. I do
I
all
was
right.
gonna say, that's
But I've had
crazy to
somebody
me, but
physically throw a hat at me because they didn't like it. They didn't like how things turned out. They wanted something that was difficult. I told them about the possibilities of what
yeah.
wouldn't turn out. It didn't turn out very much like I told them it wouldn't. I did my best effort on it, despite kind of and that's one of those things where going with your best judgment's a better idea. They
Yeah.
threw it at me. These things can still happen.
Yeah.
The thing is, you don't know where that's coming from.
Sure.
And just to kind of put the seed in your head, imagine you are someone who's buying stuff for your family reunion, and you've told all of your people you care about the most in your life that you will take care of the t-shirts, and you come back and the t-shirts aren't right.
Yeah.
And now you, to your grandma and your mom and your dad and everyone you love, have to come and say, yep, I got this thing. And let's say you've got some problems that you had with them before and you feel like a screw up. You're going to come with the baggage of your family calling you a screw up to the t-shirt guy and yell. Is it about the t-shirts? Only like
No.
10% at this point. At this
Correct.
point, it's like, I don't want to go tell grandma I'm a screw up
Yeah.
and that I couldn't get
Well,
this right.
and that grandma already thought you were a screw up before, and this was your chance, and
So
there's
now you're
bigger family
unpacking
issues,
someone
right?
like,
And
yeah,
yeah,
now
yeah.
we're unpacking someone's 30 years of baggage
Correct.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
at the counter at our store. We don't know that though.
Yeah.
So it's better for us to go in slightly dispassionately. If you're a Star Trek person, like, let's go Vulcan on this to a degree. Let's just like, that's very interesting, and then
Stoic for other
continue on. Let's
people.
go stoic. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
let's be stoic. Let Marcus Aurelius. Let's
Yeah. Yeah.
the obstacle is the way. Let's just realize that we can learn something from it and go through it, but without letting it become personal. Yeah,
All right.
it's hard.
Well, Eric, I think fantastic stuff there. Let's try to see if we can get through the comments here. Right now, we're running a little slim on
Quickly.
time, so shocker, you and I running slim on time. But
Right.
Jerry says, "How could you not go look at the balloons with the smiley face?" Totally get
Being
it.
up till 2 working on stuff.
Yep,
That'll tell
there
you
you
why.
go. That's how you cannot do it. Jeff says they do a balloon fest in Iowa. It's neat to watch. I wouldn't want to live in the town it's hosted in. Right, the same
Yeah,
same.
imagine
deal.
the literal largest one that there is.
Yeah, yeah. Christine says we have the same sort of thing with the Cherry Festival there in Michigan. Tons of traffic, takes forever to get anywhere. Lots of tourists, brings lots of money into the city though. So there you go.
Benefited from those wages many times.
Yep, yep. And then talking about the take up, it's actually at 3:30 Central Time, which, as we all know, that's the center of the universe time. Yes,
of course,
yes.
of course.
Yeah, center of my universe, and
Hey, good enough. Good enough.
So Marianne says, did an emergency embroidery for someone that really needed their name on their apparel jacket for Balloon Fest a few days ago. So there you go.
Let me tell you how that happened. If it's still being handled by my old company, you missed a cutoff date.
Nice. All right. So Christine says, we have people who balloon here, and it's amazing to see. Yep. Always fun to be driving somewhere in the morning and see a couple of balloons over the vineyards or the bay. Awesome.
Oh, it's gorgeous. No, I love seeing them. I have to say, even though I can talk cynically about it, it's still beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. Jerry Lee says, I've always wanted to go to the Balloon Fest. Well,
sounds
like there's going to be a party at Eric's house. I don't know.
Hey, do it. Let's do it. But certainly, what I'm going to tell everybody, half of the draw is the breakfast burrito. So right. Green chili breakfast burrito.
Yeah.
Frontier / Golden Pride. It is the only way to go.
Nice.
Free ad for you guys if you know.
All right.
Trying to diet, but I'll still talk about it.
All right. So October 2022, breakfast
Let's do
burritos
it.
and
All right.
ballooning for Aaron. I'm in.
Big
I'm in.
time. Big
All
time.
right. Jeff says I build the cost of replacing one garment in each job because embroidery machines
Awesome.
can get hungry and eat a shirt. There you go.
Hey, if you can get that cost built in, that's awesome.
There you go.
Absolutely awesome.
Great advice, Erich Campbell. Thank you.
Glad to be of service.
Yeah, there you go. Marianne says it comes with territory. Retaining that client is so important because that client will also tell 10 people how good or bad you were. Very good point,
Absolutely.
Marianne.
Yeah.
Agreed. Exactly. I always keep going. Awesome, Jerry.
That's
Lee.
hard. Yeah, you have to listen. That is true, and I'm so glad Aaron brought that up because you want to explain yourself away, and I'm bad about this too. Too many words sometimes, and you'll find sometimes the customer just wants to complain a little bit. They
Yeah.
may not even want anything.
Yeah. Yeah. And then so Todd says sometimes too, because of the balance of the design of the garment, your normal placement looks right or works. Yeah.
Optical center versus real center that happens in a design, absolutely all day long,
Yeah.
especially on hats, guys. Ugh.
Yep. Jerry says starting with empathy is excellent, Aaron. Once I said to her I would replace them, she said she would get back to me and no more complaining. So you're exactly correct, Aaron. Yeah, it's and again, like I said, as a small business owner, especially solopreneur, hardest thing I believe that we can do because it is your baby, right? You worked your butt off on those things. You know, you got them all lined up, centered, and they just happen to be a little lower than the customer expected. And like they're saying, "Oh, these suck," and you're like, "No, they don't. They're just not exactly what you expected." And so how do you take that emotion out of it? Right. So you're very welcome, Jerry. All right, let's see what else we got here. Eric, I just burst out laughing, picturing someone throwing a hat at you. Yeah, you know, here's my part about that too. That person had to be brave as hell because you are not a small man. You're very tall. And I think that I would have been like, sir, I don't like these.
He was a young guy with a local car club, and he was not afraid of anything. I'm going to say because he yelled at everyone in the building on the way out.
Could have been a bad idea on his part, though. I'm just saying. All right,
tough young guy. He was doing fine, but honestly, we didn't crack. So it was also, but we also didn't do anything with the guy.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Feel free to pick up your hat and head out.
Too bad. At some point, that guy will have burned all the bridges, and then he'll be screwed. So hey,
that's and who wants to work with a person who do that?
Yeah,
nobody.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Christine says the best thing I ever learned from doing customer service is the uselessness of getting angry, even if the customer was being totally illogical or irrational. I learned to stay calm and try to diffuse, and it works. And it's not easy, but it works.
One caveat: don't talk down to people.
Yeah.
If you talk down to them like a child, you are asking for a second blow up.
Yep. Yep, exactly.
It's different. It feels the same, but it's different.
Yeah. I like when they say I was missing a shirt and they've been counted 6 times plus the machine counts them. And you know, here's the interesting part. Again, when I was trying to say, okay, let's figure out how to work this out and then use it as an educational opportunity going, okay, so here's what's going to happen next time, right? Is we've got the weight, everything seems to be working. If you're really insistent that we're missing a shirt here, you know, what would you like us to do? And then, by the way, in the future, we'll go ahead and, you know, shoot a picture and make sure that this is, you know, that we're including for that, you know, so basically just somehow, some way explaining there's a price increase coming. So would you like that price increase, or would you like to actually go look through the bag and actually recount them or find out which one of your relatives stole one? You know, yes, Justin wants a breakfast burrito. Jerry Lee booked it October 2022 party at Eric's. Sorry, Eric.
I don't have room for everybody, but I'll sure try and get you to the festival.
Okay. Let's see here. Top short hat. Have been sitting quiet this whole time. Well, join in the conversation.
Got something out of it.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, Eric, one more time. Take up happening at let's be honest, 3:30.
Yeah, of course. Center of the universe time. But yeah, come hear stories. If nothing else, I'll talk about how it is to handle a big order like that. And it can be a little dry to talk about this stuff, but believe me, there's a lot that goes on to make that happen.
All right. So tuning in, and I think on that note, Eric, we're just going to shut it down instead of having the crazy. You've been properly reprimanded for your mistake last week, Eric, and I'm just
I know, man.
I'm kidding. It was probably my mistake more than
anything. I mean, if there's one thing, you know, what could I do to make
uh, too many button pushers. Have a great one, everybody.
See you guys next week.